Yes, good morning once again, and I'm very proud to meet you once again because after a long gap, once again I'm coming on online virtual mode, and this time it's a very new topic. It's not a new topic; it's a burning issue which is there. That is signing of the project statement, project report, CMA by chartered accountant. Whenever any client approaches the bank, the banks, they give the list, but simultaneously they say that you have to go and get the signature of the auditors in the project report and CMA. We will see whether those things are necessary or not. If you sign, what will be the impact? That's the main thing. But anyhow, we will go in maximum extent. I will go in depth into the presentation. Whatever you doubt you got, you put it in the chat box. The main question that is there to the fellow chartered accountants are the: can I sign the provisional statement? Can I sign the projected statement? Can I sign the CMA statement? Because the signing of provisional statement, projected statement, and CMA statement are being insisted by the bankers. Because any of your customers, any of your clients, they are going to the bank, and when they ask for the loan, the people, they want that, okay, I need the signature of the chartered accountants. And whether we can take the UDIN for provisional or projected statement, that should also be there. Can I take the UDIN for provisional or projected statement? That is also another point that you have to decide. Next thing, is it required? Is it required? Is there any professional ethics? Whether we have, our professionals are being caught by the code of ethics or not? And see, I am one of the faculty member of the code of ethics. I mean, ethical standard board. But when we had a training, they say that yes, if you are supposed to sign only the auditor statement and not other certificates. So like that provisional statement, projected statement, and CMA. And also you are not supposed to take the UDIN. This is the general discussion we had. But what our code of ethics say that we have to see. See, this situation is required when a client approaches the bank for a new loan, and bankers asked to produce a very big list. They asked to produce all the KYC now, 3 years income tax returns, your property details, your valuation report, and along with that you have to give CMA, projected statement, provisional statement, all details they want. But normally, as a convention, what the bankers they do, they ask the auditors to get they ask a client to get the auditor signature on projected statement and provisional statement, and as well as the CMA statement. Even the ITR, income computation, everything they ask you to send, because the bankers, they want the chartered accountants to involve. And even they insist the chartered accountants to sign the certificate, sign the statement with UDIN. Is it required? This is a basic thing. And what the RBI has said with reference to this, that also we are going to analyze here. It is 3 years auditor balance sheet they will ask. And this is the thing, when you sign the client, when the client comes to you, and when you sign those statements, the client will be happy. But your position, and if you refuse to sign, the bankers may direct the client to go to some other auditor because they want the purpose to be solved. So if the client goes to some other auditor, then you will be the loser. So this is the thing. But anyhow, we have to satisfy the client. Anyhow, we have to satisfy the bankers also. So you are in the middle. So how we have to handle the situation? This is what. This is also another topic which I am going to cover. See, when my client came and asked me the same thing, I asked the bankers the following questions. One is, sir, can you produce the head office circular with reference to this? When I asked the manager, sir, can you produce the head office circular? You will say that chartered accountant has to sign the provisional statement, projected statement, and the CMA statement. Can you show the head office circular? I have not received any such thing from the banker. They say that no, sir, it's a regular thing that we are asking. No, sir, I will sign. You have to produce the head office circular. And even I asked them to produce the RBI circular in this regard. So both the questions I raised before the managers, bank managers, they say that no, sir. Then in Salem, we have one important decision. All the chartered accountants, they say that we will not sign the projected statement, CMA statement. When all auditors say that we will not sign, then the bankers have got nothing left. They have to come and ask the customers to sign it, because as per the general rule, no one can certify that the person is alive tomorrow. So just like that, the same situation is here. You are not supposed to sign the future projections, because it is only based on estimation. Whether the situation works out or not, it will be there. So based on that only, we are not supposed to sign the projected statement and provisional statement. My further stand is, the view expressed in this presentation is my view only. Please refer class 3 of part 1 of schedule 3 of Chartered Accountants Act of 1949. For this, my presentation, I have referred class 3 of part 1 of second schedule of Chartered Accountants Act of 1949. Kindly take note of this, because this is also available in our ICAI website, Code of Ethics book, volume 2, page number 108 and 109. Code of Ethics book, Code of Ethics books, it is there, it is available in the ICAI website, volume 2, page number 108 and 109. Please take note of it, and you please refer those pages, and you can easily understand why we are giving this much of importance to this presentation. And ICAI said in Code of Ethics book, they say that a chartered accountant in practice, so this is applicable only for the chartered accountant in practice, shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he permits his name or the name of the firm to be used in connection with an estimate of earnings. So it is an estimate of earnings. He permits his name or his firm and earnings on contingent upon future transactions, for the future transactions, in a manner which lead to believe that he vouches the accuracy of the forecast. So a member in practice, if the Code of Ethics clearly said that it is a guilty of professional conduct, if he permits his name or his firm name to be lent to the future earnings, that is certification with reference to future earnings or future transactions, and if he vouches, if he say that the projection statement is correct, then he is held professionally. I mean, he is held. He has got the professional misconduct as per the ICAI now. So we are all chartered accountants. We have to be very, very careful. We are not supposed to sign the future certification. The interpretation is, if he permits his name or name of the firm, or in connection with an estimate of earnings, that is projections, is based on the future earnings. It is not the past earnings. It is based on the future earnings. And he vouches the accuracy of the forecast. And if he did this, if the chartered accountant did this, then he is held guilty of professional misconduct. You will definitely get notice from our ICAI, from the disciplinary committee. And even Calcutta High Court has blamed a chartered accountant who has lent his name. And even the Calcutta High Court has put the chartered accountant into a lot of questions, and he was still he is in trouble. So don't lend your name in the projection. This is the main thing. And based after the Calcutta High Court decision, everybody is serious that they refuse to sign projected statement. And according to me, don't sign the provisional statement, projected statement, CMA statement, ITR, income computation, and profit and loss account and balance sheet unless it is audited. So that means if it is an audited balance sheet, you can sign. So sometimes we attach the statement, because if it is not being covered by 44AB audit, normally we attach P&L account and balance sheet. But when bankers insist that the balance sheet and P&L account has to be certified, Unless an auditor, you are not supposed to sign. These are the almost 6 items you are not supposed to sign. If you sign it, then you are held professionally misconduct by the disciplinary committee. Not held by guilty. If you follow SAE 3400, so you kindly take note of SAE 3400. If you follow SAE 3400, you are not held guilty by the ICAI. There is no professional misconduct. It is clearly stated. You have to follow SAE 3400. For this, please refer class 3 of subclass 1 of Chartered Accountants Act of 1949. The council has issued standard on assurance engagement and a reporting guidelines on profit forecast and financial forecast. Here, there you have to prepare it. There you have to help the client to prepare the projections. So we will go little bit depth. If a member follows SAE 3400, then the ICAI say that the member is not held guilty by ICAI. Now, what the reading of 3400 said, the examination of prospective financial information which is effective in relation to the reports on projection projects issued on or after 1/4/2007, pursuant to this issuance of standard, the guidance note on auditor's report on profit forecast and the financial issues issued on 1982 stands withdrawn. So they initially withdrawn the stand, and with the on or after, if anyone signs on 1/4/2007 following SAE 3400, they are not held professionally misconduct. The guidance provided in this standard is in line with the provisions of class 3 of part 1, part of the second schedule of the Charter of Accountants, not in 1949. So, as per the opinion, it said it's as per the opinion of the council, while finalizing guidance note on auditor's report on future profit forecast and financial forecast at its 100th meeting held on 22nd to 24th July 1982, a chartered accountant can participate. Here they are specific. A chartered accountant can participate in preparation of P&L or profit or financial forecast and can review them, provided he indicates clearly in his report the source of information, from where he got the source, the basis of forecast, and also the major assumptions in arriving at the forecast, and so long as he does not vouch for the accuracy of the forecast. So he has to be specific. I never vouch the accuracy of the forecast, but the chartered accountant has to give the source from where you got the figures and financial forecast. Everything you have to clearly mention in the report while you follow SAE 3400. Now, the council has further opined that the same opinion will also apply to projections made on the basis of hypothetical assumptions about future events and management actions which are not necessarily expected to take place so long as the auditor does not vouch for the accuracy. So, it's a management role, and the auditor should not vouch for the accuracy of the projections. So, if they vouch for the accuracy of the projections, then he is held professionally misconduct. So this is what 3400 says, and further the attention is invited to the members. Please read guidance note on reports in company prospectus that is revised 2019, issued by the council in January 2019. If time permits, you go and read that guidance note. You will get a lot of information about this. And the guidance note provides with on compliance with the provisions of Companies Act of 2000. Just I am reading it. But anyhow, we will go depth on discussion on the next PPT. Next point. And SEBI issue of capital and disclosure requirement regulations 2018 relating to reports relating to be issued by chartered accountant in prospectus issued by the companies for offering made. So they clearly said this is used when they issue the prospectus. So if the prospectus is not issued, and my question is, when prospectus is not issued, whether SAE 3400 can be followed. So this is a question. Anyhow, they say that you are not supposed to vouch the accuracy of the statement. The observation in SAE 3400 is express in general or narrative. No, you have to be specific. It is you are not supposed to express the matter in general. And you have to use the SAE 3400 as much as possible. That is, you have to follow the principles of standards on accounting. And next thing, how to use the prospective financial information, that is PFI, prospective financial information. One is statement is prepared on the basis of assumption. All project reports we use to prepare the assumption basis. We assume that the sales will increase by 10%. We assume that the sales will increase by 5%, or expenses also by 1.5% or 3%, something we assume. So statement prepared on the basis of assumption and occurrence of future and possible action by an entity. So if you follow this assumption, this will be the occurrence. So this you have to be specific while preparing the projections based on the SAE 3400 and highly subject oriented nature. Suppose if you are preparing for steel industry, it is all the matter should be related to steel industry. If it is related to cement industry, you have to prepare related to the cement industry alone and not for other things. So use considerable judgment in preparation of the exercise. So a chartered accountant, he has to apply his mind, then come to the conclusion. He has to he has to take a proper judgment while doing this exercise of preparing the projection statement. It is the management duty to prepare the financial projections. It is a management duty to prepare the projection, financial projections. So the auditor here is to help them to prepare the financial projections. So it is the duty of the management to prepare the financial projections. The projection can be used as an internal management tools. It has to be used as an internal management tools. It should not be used as for the external management tools. So next one is PFI is used by management for future and speculative transactions. So management can use the financial information for the future and speculative transactions. This is what I observed from SAE 3400. Here, the client and CA has to enter into agreement for projections, and CA has to accept the projections. Yes, he can help the customers to prepare the projection, but on realistic achievements in projects, whether it is really achievable. So within 2 months, I can lay 2,000 kilometers of roads. It is not possible. So the realistic assumption should be there in each and every project. And CA, chartered accountant, before helping the customer to prepare the financial projections, he must understand the business of the client. He must understand the business of the client. Then only he will be in a position to give his opinion, give his assistance in preparing the projections. So the chartered accountant has to consider the operative cycle, the degree of reliability of assumption, and need of the user of the business. Who is going to rely on the projections? That also the chartered accountant has to see. What is the degree of reliability? To what extent you can rely? And the operative cycle of the business also should also be considered by the chartered accountants. And timing and extent of examination of procedure. Sometimes it is not permanent. It is not permanent. You can consider this projections if you use it within 3 months, within 4 months, within 5 months. Then only up to 3 months, up to 6 months only, the assumptions hold good. If it exceeds that, then you have to get the fresh assumptions. And reliability and source of evidence. See, from where you get the details, everything that you have to record, everything that you have to say in the projections. So the source of evidence from where the management and auditor rely should be clearly mentioned in the projections. Based on this source, we have relied on the projections. That should be clearly mentioned in the report. Analyze budget, project held, agreement in existence, government policies, industrial publication, economic forecast. Based on that, you can prepare the projections. So what is the government policy? What is the industrial policy? From where the economic forecast? So all these sources should be clearly mentioned in the projections. So if you follow this SAE 3400, you will not held professionally misconduct, provided you are not supposed to certify the accuracy of the forecast and prepare the projections on realistic basis. You have to prepare the projection on the realistic basis. Suppose a turnover in the last year is 100 rupees, and you are not supposed to increase the turnover from 100 to 5,000 rupees in the next year. It is not possible. So if it is 100 rupees, 10% or 15% increase is viable. Provided if you got any additional projections, additional projects, then you have to support it. Based on the subject of support, you can increase the projections. But that indirectly they say that it is on the realistic basis you have to prepare the projections. And what are all the management assumptions, that also you have to say in your report. And you have to consider the sensitive and material areas. Sometimes union problems will be there. Sometimes raw material is in scarce due to government policy. All are sensitive areas. And what will be the disturbance? What is the suppose if you go and construct a factory wherein pollution problem will be there, some sensitive issues. So all things you have to bear in mind. This observation in SAE 3400 is not only applicable for the at the time of preparation, even for your practice, for other cases also you can use it. And period of preparing. So even you can prepare not only at the year end, even in the mid-year also you can prepare, say in the month of June, July also you can prepare. So the period of preparing, whenever your client requires, you can prepare the projections. Based on that, you can do the working. So even in the mid-year also you can prepare. Then CA to write to the management about the usage. The charter accountant before preparation, he has to write to the management and asking for the details who are going to use this projections report. So that details you have to get it before signing the statement. And the projection should not mislead. The projections should not mislead. By if they use it, the projection should not be misled. And charter accountants, they have to keep the proper working papers. Charter accountants, they have to keep the working papers. And in the projections, the charter accountant has to give the full project detail and name and address of the client. Everything you have to clearly mention in the projections. That is the report you have to clearly mention in the projections. And you are not supposed to sign PFI, projected statements, you are not supposed to sign, but it has to be signed by the client. But in the end, you can say that the charter accountant has assisted in the preparation of projection statements. So if it is not signed by the charter accountants, then but you can help the customer to prepare the projections, but you are not supposed to vouch the accuracy. You are not supposed to lend your name in preparing the projections statement. So if that is the case, then you will not be held professionally misconduct. And if you sign it, then you are held professionally, you have got a professional misconduct and you will get a notice from the disciplinary committee. And here, what is a net result? What is the net result? So we have discussed a few points and SAE 3400 also we have described. The net result is don't sign provisionals or projections because you are not there to certify the future. You are there to certify the past happenings which you are already audited. If it is not audited by you, don't sign the papers. You will be held guilty of professional conduct if you sign the provisions and projections. It is clearly stated in the Code of Ethics books. And don't sign ITR 5 or income computation. Don't sign it. You are not supposed to sign this because it is not an audited figure. It is not an audited figure. So you don't sign it. Even don't sign the P&L account and balance sheet unless until you audited this thing. If you audit the P&L account and audit the balance sheet, then you can sign. Otherwise, you are not supposed to sign those statements. And the very, very important thing, UDIN. UDIN you can take unique, the UDIN you can take only for the certificates. So projection statement, provisional statement is not a certificate. ITR 5, income computation and P&L account balance sheet unless it is audited, it is not a certificate. So you are not supposed to take UDIN. If you take UDIN, that means you are going to certify those things. But be careful, you are not supposed to take this. So don't take UDIN for again all the things: provisional statement, projected statement, CMA, ITR 5, income computation, P&L account and balance sheet, unless you audit. So only for audited items you can take audited items, or only when you certify the items you can take UDIN, otherwise not. You are not supposed to take it. What is now one member has sought the RBI's view. Sir, what is, have you given any instruction to the bankers to get that those projected statement have to be signed by the chartered accountants? They said they have not issued any specific instruction. They are very clear and they are very specific. RBI has not issued any specific instructions in this regard with regard to signing of projected statement, income statement, UDIN, KYC certificates. They are specific. So that means there is no RBI circular. But they say that RBI has delegated the powers to the banks to take its own decision. Here the game starts. To take its own decision on loan sanctions, credit policy, etc. So RBI has not issued a specific sanction, but they delegate the powers to bank to take its own decision at the time of issuing the loans or forming the credit policy. So if you ask the manager whether your head office has insisted for this, then that means if without the insistence of the head office, if the manager insists, then that is not correct. So you can ask that now RBI has come out with clear instruction that there is no specific instruction. But if the bankers say that yes, it's a credit policy. Our credit policy, you have to sign it. If you sign it, then before signing it, you have to go through very carefully and you have to follow only SAE 3400 and you are not supposed to sign it directly. And the next one is the certificate from CA. Sometimes they say that the chartered accountant has to sign that the fund will not be used for any unlawful, illegal and terrorist activities. How is it possible for a chartered accountant to sign this type of certificate? Still managers insist that it's an unlawful thing. The fund will not be used for any unlawful, illegal and terrorist activities. It is not possible. So if that is the case, don't sign it. Say even not one of the banks, almost three banks, they say that the party has got no arrears, no statutory dues from any of the acts under Indian laws. How can you certify? He may have some municipal tax arrears, water tax arrears. So even road tax arrears also he will get. It is not possible for the chartered accountant to sign it. If that is there, then you can issue a certificate stating that the customer has filed income tax returns up to 31/3/2021. GST returns he has filed up to 31/3/21, up to 31/3. GST returns. The party has got no tax arrears. And provided you should have direct information. So whenever you issue certificate, you have to be specific. In few bankers, they say that the funds will not be used for any unlawful, illegal and terrorist activities. So that is also another problem that you are going to make it. And final observation is, don't sign provisional. Again, I'm repeatedly telling, don't sign provisional projected ITR 5 CMA and income computation. Don't sign the P&L account balance sheet unless you audit it. Because this point you have to bear in mind. Don't take items for 1 and 2. You are not, because it is not a certificate. Don't take UDIN. And if at all the manager asks you to sign, ask the manager to produce the head office circular and RBI circulars in this regard. But you have to ask them politely. You have to dance according to the tune of the bankers, but you have to play the game very safely. But if your entire team, our fellow members say this, no, we will not sign, because if we sign, then we are held professionally in misconduct. Then automatically bankers come out with the other views. So if you sign it, then you will be held professionally misconduct. This is what I want to say to you. And I have received a question from Mr. Jagan Kumar. Good morning, sir. Wonderful session. Is there any RBI circular, RTI reply with respect to RBI? Oh, it is available, sir. It is there. Even it is there in the Google it is there. Even in a lot of WhatsApp also they have circulated. And I got your mail ID. I'll share that. There is RTI message to you after completion of the session. I will definitely forward the message to you, sir. And members, if you got any doubt, you are welcome. And definitely, though it's a very specific session, and actually almost 88 members they have registered, but only 8 friends have come for the participation. Maybe maybe some work they would have got, but this presentation is going to be available in YouTube. You can inform the friends that even in future also, if you want to refer, you can go and see my YouTube channel. Name is Ravindran V. You just type it, you will get all information about banks. You will get all information there. This is also going to be recorded. This is already I have started to record it, and this information will be available to you. If you want, if you got any doubt, you can go and see my YouTube. And so, and Vijita asked, sir, following SAE 3000, we can just issue one report and attach the projection without signing it. Yes, yes, Vijita. We have to be very, very careful in signing our. We have to save our certificate. We have to save our skin. We are not supposed to face our issued action. And if you got any doubt, you can ask me. And this presentation is available to you in the YouTube. In the YouTube, it is available. Please take note of it. And thank you very much for explaining this. And I have planned to have a lot of small sessions like this from the professional angle. And to the maximum extent, we will jointly discuss and we will come to the conclusion. Thank you very much for the patient hearing, and thank you very much for visiting this program. Thank you very much. And if you got any doubt, you got my number, you can write to me. And even it is available. And if you want to see this in YouTube also, you can go and see it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a happy weekend. Thank you very much. What is the risk of signing ITR and computation? Sachin, it is not a certificate. It is not a certificate. You are supposed to sign only the certificates and not the papers. ITR, it is not a certificate. Computation, it is not a certificate. Unless until it is a certificate, you are not supposed to sign the ITR 5, income computation, P&L account balance sheet, unless until you audit it. Sachin sir, is it okay? And thank you very much. I am closing the session. We will meet you on some other day and some other time. Thank you very much.